so it's no secret that I'm a huge fan of hotel credit cards as they come with some of the most valuable benefits. Many hotel credit cards not only offer increased multipliers when using the card at their respective hotel chain, but also have benefits that include elevated status and opportunities for free night awards. And because of these benefits, I've made hotel credit cards a major part of my overall credit card strategy, and the three main hotel groups that I focus on are Marriott, Hilton, and IHG. So in this video, I'm going to explain why I chose these hotel chains as a part of my 3-tier hotel credit card strategy, how they work with each other in my personal life, and the credit card and hotel program strategies I'm using to elevate my travel experience. Okay, so as I mentioned before, the 3 hotels that make up my hotel strategy are Marriott, Hilton, and IHG. The way I like to think about my 3 hotel programs is very similar to how I look at a credit card trifecta. In a credit card trifecta, each card plays a certain role, whether it be elevated multipliers in select categories or a catch-all category to cover everything else. And I view these 3 hotel chains in a very similar way, but as I hold credit cards from each one, there's the interplay between point accumulation, elite status benefits, and free night certificates that has to be balanced. It's also very similar to when we think about having access to multiple flexible point currencies, whereby having, for example, Amex MRs, Chase URs, and Citi Thank You points, you have access to a lot of different transfer partners. I would say that using multiple hotel programs is similar to this concept in that using these multiple programs gives you not only options for basic versus luxury stays, but also with the benefits and elite status perks that is specific to each hotel chain. So just for some context, I have the most experience with Marriott, but over the past few years, I've stayed at my fair share of Hilton hotels, and starting just this year, I've stayed at a couple of IHG properties as well. With Marriott, I'm currently lifetime Silver Elite with about 5 years of being Marriott Gold Elite, 1 year of being Marriott Platinum Elite, and 1 year of being Marriott Titanium Elite. With Hilton, the highest status I've held is Gold status, and with IHG, the highest status I've held is Platinum Elite. I also want to mention that all of my stays thus far have been primarily domestic properties, so I can't speak to international hotel experiences and the possible upgrades that could come with having higher hotel status. Sadly, domestic properties don't value status as much as international properties, but if you ask nicely, sometimes you're able to score one. And I want to give a huge shout out to Sledge from the Sledging team for helping me get an upgrade when I stayed at the Kimpton in New Orleans for the Credit Card Creator Meetup. But I will say I've heard that the international experience with Marriott, Hilton, and IHG is a lot better than the domestic ones, and upgrades are far more likely to happen when you travel overseas. And so with that being said, let's dive into the top tier hotel in my strategy, which is the Marriott Hotel System and Bonvoy program. Now, of the 3 hotel chains, Marriott has the biggest footprint with over 9,000 locations worldwide and growing. One of my favorite things about Marriott is that no matter where I travel, there's always somewhere to stay, often with multiple options, and the hotel is almost always in a great location that's convenient to where I want to be. And for this reason, I always look for Marriott properties first when I'm doing a quick domestic trip, whether it be for personal or business travel. I've also had very good experiences in all the Marriott properties I stay at, with the most common ones being Courtyards and Westins. But even though I'm a big fan of Marriott, I will say that there are some flaws with staying with them, and it mostly has to do with their Bonvoy program. As one of the biggest brands in the industry, they have a ton of properties under their umbrella, and because there are so many of them, I find that status recognition and perks varies from brand to brand, and so I don't get a consistent, well-defined experience as a Titanium Elite member. But I will say that most M clubs, Westin clubs, and equivalents are accessible if you're Bonvoy Platinum Elite or higher. But there are some exceptions, most notably the Ritz-Carlton, which has their own separate system for club access at their properties. Despite this, I'm a big fan of Marriott credit cards, and their credit card portfolio is unique because they span over 2 issuers, Chase and American Express, but unfortunately they don't play nice with each other. There's a lot of intricate rules when it comes to getting welcome offers on these cards, with the most common one being the 24-month rule. This rule states that if you get approved for a Chase Marriott Bonvoy card, you'll have to wait at least 24 months after receiving the welcome offer on that card to qualify for a welcome offer on an American Express Marriott Bonvoy credit card, and vice versa. It's also important to know that the American Express Marriott cards have family language, where you have to get the bevy first before the Brilliant, as well as 24-month language on the Chase side if you want to get the welcome offer on the same Chase Marriott Bonvoy card again. Now, when it comes to my Marriott credit card strategy, the main goal here is to focus on those Marriott cards that have anniversary free night awards. This is where you earn a free night valued up to 35K or 85K points depending on the card after holding the card for a full year, and then every subsequent year after that. I also want to point out that these nights can be topped up with up to 15,000 additional points if you want to redeem the free night for a property that requires more points. So with that in mind, these rewards can be redeemed for properties up to 50,000 points or 100,000 points respectively. And the cards with this anniversary free night award are the Chase Bonvoy Boundless, Chase Ritz-Carlton, Amex Bonvoy, Amex Bonvoy Brilliant, and Amex Bonvoy business cards. Now, of course, each one of these cards have annual fees ranging from just $95 all the way up to $650. So these are technically not free, but as long as you can redeem them for a higher value than the annual fee, you come out ahead. The question is, though, how many Marriott credit cards is reasonable? And this answer is going to vary from person to person, but for me, that number was going to be 2 85K and 2 35K free night awards. The reason why I came to this number is because having 2 free night certificates allows me to use 2 in one go to redeem for a weekend trip at either a mid-tier or luxury stay, depending on whether I use the 35K or 85K free night awards. And so to get these free night awards, my goal is to have each of the following cards: the Bonvoy Boundless, the Chase Ritz-Carlton, the Amex Bonvoy Brilliant, and the Amex Bonvoy Business. And if you want to see my strategy on how I'm getting these cards, I made a video about this method a little while ago, so if you haven't seen it yet, I'll link to that video up top as well as down in the description below. Now, the only card that I'm missing at this point is the Marriott Bonvoy Boundless card, but I'm hoping to get that card soon and then get 2 85K and 2 35K free night awards every single year. Aside from free night awards, what's nice about this setup is that since I have the Amex Bonvoy Brilliant and Bonvoy Business cards, I can take advantage of the other benefits on those cards too. Specifically, the Bonvoy Brilliant card gets me automatic Platinum Elite status, so I have access to those clubs that I mentioned before, where there's usually free daily breakfast. And I also earn a total of 40 Elite Night credits that I can use towards Titanium Elite status, and combining that with the annual 50-night choice benefit of 5 extra Elite Nights, it makes Titanium Elite status very achievable, since now it only takes 30 nights per year to get there instead of 75. Now, in my experience, Titanium Elite really isn't that much better than Platinum Elite, but as it comes with complimentary United Premier Silver status, this benefit is actually a great perk if you fly with United. And so that's how I'm maximizing the value I get with Marriott, but next I want to cover my strategy with Hilton, which is my second tier hotel program. Now, as I usually stay at Marriott's for most of my travel, my stays at Hilton are mostly for personal reasons, and I generally aim to use points only when I book these vacations. Hilton's footprint is also pretty comprehensive, with about 8,000 properties worldwide, and I mainly target their luxury properties like Waldorf Astoria, LXR, and Conrad. And what's nice about the Hilton Rewards program is that starting at Hilton Gold status, you earn a daily food and beverage credit for you and one additional guest for every day of your stay. And if you're staying for multiple days, you can see how this can really add up. So I definitely recommend being at least Hilton Gold status if you plan on staying at Hilton properties often. Now, of course, there's several ways to get Hilton Gold status. The first and probably least effective way to get there, unless you're a frequent traveler, is by staying 40 nights at Hilton properties. But the most cost-effective way to get Hilton Gold status is through credit cards, and you can specifically get Hilton Gold status with the American Express Hilton Surpass card, the American Express Hilton Business card, or the American Express Platinum card. And these cards have annual fees of $150, $195, and $695 respectively. Of course, the Hilton Aspire card can get you automatic Hilton Diamond status, but I've been pretty happy with just Hilton Gold status, mainly because of that food and beverage credit. So with all that in mind, this is how I'm using credit cards for my Hilton strategy, which is to work up the classic Hilton credit card ladder, where I start with the Hilton Honors card, then get the Hilton Surpass card, and then the Hilton Aspire card. And somewhere along the way, I can also add in a Hilton Business card as well. And when I get to the top of the ladder, I can downgrade back to the Surpass or Hilton Honors card, and then hopefully go up the ladder again with upgrade offers. Now, since I'm still at the very beginning of this strategy, it's important for me to wait for the right time to get a limited time elevated welcome offer so I can maximize the number of points or free night awards I can earn with that welcome offer. I've already held and canceled a Hilton business card, and I also currently have the no annual fee Hilton Honors card for myself and my wife. And so right now, I'm just waiting for a good welcome offer to come up on the Hilton Surpass card to move up to the next level of the ladder. This is also going to be an important keeper card for me because it offers that Hilton Gold status that is just so valuable. Right now, I have this benefit on my Amex Platinum card, but as I'm considering canceling that card next year to cut down on annual fees, having a Surpass card is going to be very important for this benefit. The Hilton Surpass card also has another nice perk, which is to earn a free night certificate for $15,000 in spend in a calendar year. I realize that this benefit isn't for everyone, but it's great to have this option, particularly if you have a large expense coming up, but there aren't any good welcome offers at the time you need to make that purchase. And once I get the Surpass card, then, of course, I would move to the Aspire card. But ultimately, I think my sweet spot is going to be the Surpass card. The Hilton Aspire card is still, in my opinion, the best hotel credit card out there. But I just don't stay at Hilton's enough to make it worth it to me. And although I've heard Hilton Diamond is pretty amazing, I'm perfectly happy with just Hilton Gold. Now, if I'm running low on Hilton points, another strategy that I use is to wait for a 100% bonus point sale where you earn twice as many points per dollar spent, meaning you buy 1 point for half a penny each, usually up to a maximum of $2,500 per year. By doing so, if you redeem your points for more than 0.5 cents per point, you're getting a discount on your cash days, and of course, the better the redemption, the more value you get. There are some Hilton properties out there where you can earn 1 cent per point or even higher than that, so definitely consider doing this if you don't mind purchasing points as a part of your Hilton point redemption strategy. This can be particularly effective if you're able to stay for 5 nights, as Hilton offers a 5th night free benefit when you redeem points for a 5-night stay. I do want to mention that Marriott also has this 5th night free benefit, but as I find Hilton points to be much easier to obtain, I find myself using this benefit more with Hilton. And so now I want to address IHG and how I view their hotel program, and I consider IHG to be my 3rd tier hotel program. For my purposes, I consider IHG to be very similar to Hilton in that I only stay at their properties for leisure trips and only stay there using points. Like Hilton, IHG also offers point sales where you can get up to a 100% bonus and purchase a point for half a penny each, also up to a maximum of $2,500 per year. But what's really nice about IHG, and I didn't really realize how convenient this was until I started using it, was the 4th night free benefit that you get as an IHG credit card holder. It's much more common for me to have a 4-night trip rather than 5, and so it's been nice to have this option available. Now, as for IHG properties, I've only stayed at Intercontinentals and Kimptons so far, and IHG's luxury and lifestyle portfolio are the hotel plans I'll be aiming to stay at. And as someone who recently purchased IHG ambassador status, my goal is to stay at as many Intercontinentals over the next year to see if this status is a good fit for me. One of the nice features of Intercontinentals is that they have a very strong presence in Asia, and as this is a top destination for my wife and I, Intercontinentals will be my top choice when I look for hotels outside of the United States. So hopefully I'll be able to book more IHG properties abroad, and if we decide to do more exploring and less staying in, I'm sure a Holiday Inn would work just fine. And when it comes to credit cards, currently the only card I have is the IHG Premier Business Card, which is essential to unlock that 4th night free benefit. It also comes with a 40K anniversary free night award, and on top of the complimentary weekend night I get with ambassador status, having these 2 free nights will be more than sufficient for our travel needs, also taking into account any free nights I'm also getting with Hilton and Marriott. I'm also Platinum Elite with IHG since this is an IHG Premier Business Cardholder benefit, and while this status doesn't offer any food or beverage benefit, you need Diamond Elite status for that, it does offer early check-in and late checkout, which can be super helpful to maximize your time while staying at that property. And so that is my 3-tier hotel system and how I'm using hotel credit cards with Marriott, Hilton, and IHG. Everyone's strategy is going to be different, and it's going to depend on a lot of factors, including your preferred hotel chain, your travel patterns, and what your goals are when it comes to recreational and business travel. And while this was an overview of the hotel side of things in my credit card portfolio, my plans fall under a broader credit card roadmap that incorporates other credit card strategies. And to see my credit card roadmap for the next year, check out this video next.